What's up, everyone? Welcome to The Savoring. I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Richie.
And man, we got something special for you guys in this video. Imagine some perfectly smoked pork baby back ribs, almost fall off the bone tender, not quite fall off the bone, but almost. And then you're going to take those things, we're going to batter them and deep fry them. And man, do they come out delicious. You guys stick around till the end so you get our reaction when we eat them. First thing we're going to do is we're going to open these things up, get them patted dry, get all those juices off. Then we're going to flip them over and pull the membrane off. I like to just take my finger in the middle of the rack between two of the bones and just stick it underneath the membrane and just pull straight up. It just pulls right off. Also like to trim off the end bones just to give myself a nice square edge, and sometimes those end bones get a little weird. If there's any thick fat on top of the rack, I like to trim it off, just kind of shave it down. And there we go. We got our nice rack of ribs ready for some seasoning. I like to season these pretty heavy with just whatever kind of barbecue rub I like at the time.
You know, it's a very fluid situation. We change rubs around this place.
Yeah, you don't always season with the same rub, because I mean, that gets kind of boring, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we like to try different stuff.
Yeah.
What is this rub made of?
This is actually a couple of different meat church rubs, and then I come back in the end with some black pepper. Because you know, here in Texas, we got to add a bunch of black pepper on there.
A lot of black pepper.
Here's our rack of ribs all ready for the grill. I'm going to be cooking these ribs on a Weber kettle, indirect with a 2-zone fire.
So, Jimmy, what is this divider looking thing? You've got the coals on one side, and it looks like the meat's going to go on the other side.
So that is the Slow and Sear. It's an aftermarket attachment that you can get for your Weber kettle. We'll put a link in the description for that. You can pick those up on Amazon.
What does it do?
It allows you to put your meat on one side and your fire on the other with a water barrier between them with the water trough. So I'm going to be cooking them with the minion method on my charcoal, which basically you're going to light about 8 to 10 charcoal briquettes, put them in there, and then you put your other ones on top. And over time, those lit ones slowly light the unlit ones to get a long, low, and slow burn.
So, Jimmy, I normally use a little lighter. What is that thing you got there?
That is a Grill Blazer grill lighting gun, almost like a blowtorch. Those are available on Amazon also. We'll put a link in the description for that, too.
Very cool, very cool.
I'm going to put some hickory chunks, let this thing get up to temperature, and we'll put those ribs on. Now that we're up to temp, we're just going to put the ribs on. We're going to let them go probably for about an hour, and then we'll check them. Here we are about an hour in. I'm going to go ahead and spritz them with some apple juice just to give them a little moisture. But they're looking good. Starting to get some nice mahogany color. Getting there. Getting some bark. Here we are after about 2 hours. They've got the color and the bark that I want. So now I'm going to pull them off, get them wrapped so they don't get any darker. Going to put them upside down, wrap them in a couple of layers of foil just in case one layer busts through, it won't leak. I want to retain all those nice juices so they cook in their own juices. Got them all wrapped up nice and tight. Going to put them back on the grill, probably for about another 2 hours until you start seeing the bones poking out. Now they're ready. Look at those nice bones poking out of the end. Looks so good.
Bro, these look good. These are edible right now.
Yeah, these are done. So you could stop right here and eat these, and you've got a wonderful, delicious rack of ribs ready to eat. But we're going to take it a step further. We're going to chill them in the fridge overnight, come back the next day, and then we're going to get these things all fried up.
So starting off, we're already starting with an absolute perfect foundation for fried ribs. This isn't raw out of the pack, cut up and fried. This is a perfectly smoked rack of ribs we're getting ready to cut up and fry. So take the ribs. I like to take a knife and I like to go against one of the sides of the bones. Start right there and go all the way down. And just use the bone as a template to cut the rib.
Makes a nice, good guide for your knife.
Yeah. And then you get a whole rib.
You kind of get some uniformity in your cuts.
Yeah,
too.
everything's consistent. You don't have one rib with no meat and one rib with a lot of meat. Everything's kind of consistent. It has the same amount of meat on the bone. We're going to go through here and cut all these ribs. We're going to get probably 12, 13 ribs out of this deal.
There we are. They're all nice and cut up, ready for frying.
Here's a look at all the seasonings and ingredients we're going to use to fry these things. So for the wet batter, we're going to use some buttermilk. We're going to use some hot sauce. We're going to use some eggs. And we're going to use some coarse ground black pepper and some paprika. For the dry batter, we're going to use just all-purpose flour, corn starch, baking soda. We're going to use some salt, some onion, some paprika, some smoked paprika, some yellow mustard, some black pepper, some oregano, some cayenne, some chili powder, and some garlic powder. So take a large mixing bowl. We're going to crack our 4 eggs open. We're going to add our buttermilk. We're going to add our hot sauce. Then we're going to season this with some smoked paprika and some black pepper. And we're going to give it a really, really good mix. All right, after you're mixing, it should look something like this. All right, we're going to use a batter bowl for this. You don't have to use a batter bowl. We like batter bowls. We'll show you how to use it. There'll be a link in the description, too, also, if you want it.
Yeah, you guys want to pick up one of these batter bowls if you don't have one because it makes frying stuff way easier.
So take the bottom of the bowl. We're going to add our flour. We're going to add our cornstarch. We're going to add our baking soda. All right, give that a quick little mix and then start adding all the seasonings.
We'll put a list of all the measurements for the seasonings in the description. Once you get everything in there, just take your whisk and mix it up really, really good. All right, now it's time to dunk these ribs into the wet batter and then put them into the dry batter. Get them all nice and coated with the wet.
Make sure they're completely coated. There's no dry spots on any of it. Depending on the size of the ribs, I do 3 or 4 at a time. Take them out of the mixture and put them in the dry mixture and give them a little bit of a mix.
Got to make a little bit of a mess on your counter because if you ain't making a mess, you ain't cooking.
That's right. I don't want to eat in the kitchen. Ain't messy. All right, so on the batter bowl, you put the lid on the top, little separator. Then you put the top bowl on top of the separator. You give it a really, really good mix. And then when you're done, you turn the bowl over and kind of sift all the flour, and the flour falls to the bottom bowl, and you're left with this right here.
There you go. Nice, beautiful battered ribs ready for frying. Man, they look good already.
Dude, they look good. And then just repeat this step until you get them all nice and battered. We're going to be using a countertop deep fryer. We're going to set the oil right around 360 degrees. Keep in mind, these ribs are already cooked. We're just trying to brown the flour and get some crispy skin on them.
Yeah, you don't need to cook them a long time, just enough to brown them. Probably about, I would say, 2 to 3 minutes.
2 3 minutes.
2
to 3 minutes.
You don't want to go any longer than that, otherwise they're going to dry out and get tough.
I love watching stuff fry in oil.
Yeah, I like the sound of it.
Yeah, me too.
Give them a little shake. Make sure they're not sticking to each other or the basket.
Yeah, sometimes if the batter's too wet, they will stick to the bottom of that basket.
Once they're done, they look like that. Nice golden brown.
Oh, my goodness. Listen. Hey, I'm going to grab a fork. We'll do the little fork
Look at
test
that,
so
look at
everybody
that.
can hear this, okay?
Let's hear how crispy this is. Oh, yeah. Nice and crunchy. And there you go. Beautiful, slow smoked, battered, and deep fried ribs.
I can't wait to try these.
Oh, yeah. Me too. Let's go. All right, bro. You ready to try these fried ribs?
I'm ready. They look good.
I can't wait. Look at that.
Oh, my
Look
God.
at the, I've never seen anything like that.
Which one do you want?
I'm going to take this first one.
That's one I was going for.
Oh, man. I'm going to take the second
I'm
one.
going to take the second one.
All right, let's see what we got. We got some sauce. You want to try it in the sauce?
I don't want the sauce. You have the sauce.
I'm going to dip it a little in the sauce.
Mmm.
Look at that perfect bite through. I mean, like perfect tenderness on the rib.
I don't know how to explain this.
Oh. Well, you know, you've got a perfectly smoked rib, right?
Yeah.
Slow smoked, barbecued,
It's like we bottled up smoke and we fried it.
and we bottled, yeah.
And put it on the pin.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. We smoked. We fried.
But just the rib by itself would have been just a perfect rib. But then you take it to that next level and you deep fry it and you add that crunch and all the extra flavor from the batter, all the seasoning in the batter and all the hot sauce and the wet batter and all that
Yeah, I
stuff.
don't
It's just
understand.
like,
I wish I can't explain it.
man,
I don't know if you can see how
such a
moist
good way to
this
eat
is
ribs.
still.
I don't know that, you know, I'm going to have a hard time eating ribs that are not fried from now on because this is so good. It's like I just want to deep fry it, every single rib.
Right off the bone.
Yeah.
Just no effort.
Perfect. Perfect. Not fall off the bone ribs, but bite right off the bone ribs.
Right. No.
So they're not falling apart on us. They're staying together really well.
So good.
You guys definitely got to try this out. Trust me, you're going to love them. If you're a rib fan and you're a deep fried food fan, you can't go wrong. So if you liked the video or learned anything at all, be sure and hit that subscribe button so we can continue to make more videos like this and bring you guys some delicious food.
Thanks.
See you guys on the next one.